price that fits your budget. Our award-winning team keeps track of all the important regulatory issues that impact your business. Hey, everybody. What is happening? Radio on YouTube, man. Where was this 20 years ago, man? Think of all the followers I had if I would have did this 20 years ago. That's pgnmv.com or call our Las Vegas office at 702-740-4380. Come on, yeah, there we go. I'm in the chat. Snow Raider, man, that Tahoe snow looks fabulous, man. Powder, God, that looks good. Yeah, I miss skiing, man. I don't know why I'm not skiing at the level I know how to ski at.
I need the fucking ocean. I want to see a goddamn.
Well, get to the ocean, Bobby, man. Let's go. I got a newspaper with me today. I went and had coffee, and I picked up the newspaper. We got Vinnie Bonsignore coming up today. Look at Vinnie's cover if you're a Raider fan. Look at that. Does that sum it up? Not good enough. Not good enough.
Here we go.
I watched the movie Honora last night. Wow, what a wild movie that was. If you like Vegas, strippers, Brooklyn, Russians, mafia, it was a real good movie. All right, let's do a radio show. Please put in the chat what you'd like me to talk about in the must-listen monologue.
You're listening to the JT the Brick Show, where the Raider Nation has come to sound off and react for over 20 years.
It's the JT the Brick Show, broadcasting live from the Finley Cadillac Performance Studio, your silver and black home to sound off for over 25 years. And now, here's JT the Brick.
Out of the gate, JT today in studio with the famous Bobby Machado, who's been with me since the late 90s. I feel like I'm a sports radio pilot today. I just adjusted my headset. I logged into YouTube at JT the Brick YT so you can watch the show and check out what we do. I think you'd be interested to watch the show because you'll see how raw it is. Maybe you think it's easy. Maybe you think, wow, man, he doesn't have any notes. He's not looking at anything. He doesn't have anybody interrupting him. Everything's nice. It's quiet. I like to get out of the house. I can do this from home. They allow us to do it from home, but I'd rather come in here, fire up the machine, get going today and talk sports with you for 2 hours. I've had a long week this week, man. I've done 3 triples, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and today I have this show and a podcast coming up here after the show, and then I'm counting down to Friday. Friday, I got a chalk talk with the Raiders at the Raiders headquarters with Rod Woodson and Aiden O'Connell together. That's going to be pretty good for America West Credit Union, one of our proud partners. And then Saturday night, I'll be the MC for the Commitment to Excellence Awards here in Las Vegas as we pay tribute to Max Crosby. And Max and his wife and family will be in attendance. And if you're going to that event, I can't wait to see you there. That's always a fun event. We call it Raider Prom. Raider Prom because a lot of people treat it like the prom. They get dressed up, they come, they dance, there's a DJ, there's a lot of entertainment. So hopefully you're coming to that because tickets have been on sale for a while. And then the weekend looks great. But my highlight of this week, other than Max on Saturday night, my highlight is definitely going to be the hockey game tomorrow night. And that's the focus of the monologue before I get to the Raiders. Vinnie Bonsignore at the bottom of the hour. We have an amazing opportunity to have a great night out tomorrow night. That's what I do for a living. I try to tell you what I do. And that's why I have this big shield, Bobby, when people say, oh, you're a boomer, get off my lawn. No, I have more fun than most people. All right, I go to nightclubs if I have to. I go to bars. I have my Modelo's on Friday. Don't worry about me. I act like I'm 23 years old most of the time. We got an opportunity to go out on Thursday night with all of our proud partners. I'll get through and watch the hockey game. This hockey game between USA and Canada feels like it's the finals in the Olympic game for the gold medal. It's not. The Olympic game is more important. But other hockey fans say the World Cup, all this other thing. No, this is pretty big. And the reason why this is big is the backdrop of politics, hockey and politics. In the 1980 Olympics, the Cold War against Russia, we beat Russia in the semifinal, and Russia was a professional team. They would, if Russia would have played the USA, Mike Ruzioni team, 10 times, they would have beat them 9 out of 10 times. The one time we got them was when it mattered the most. Do you believe in miracles? Yes. And we won the game and went on to win the gold medal. Still to this day, when those guys were out here a couple of years ago as guests of Mr. Foley, the owner of the Vegas Golden Knights, they came out here for a benefit, which was really weird because the guy who put on the event robbed all the money from the players. It was a really, really shady deal. The promoter that brought the 1980 Olympic team out here, and I was a part of it in a small way. We had him on the radio. We did some things. The promoter bailed and didn't pay him. And Mr. Foley stepped up and cleaned it all up. What a great guy Mr. Foley is. And I got a chance to hang out at the center bar over at Nomad, over there, right there at Park MGM. They got a center bar, and it was one of the greatest nights you could ever imagine. There was like 15 Hockey USA legends there drinking. I was hanging out with Ken Morrow, who's the only player ever in the history of hockey to win the gold medal, and then he won 4 Stanley Cups in a row as a rookie. That'll never be done before. It'll never be done again. So anyway, I digress. This hockey game coming up here tomorrow night is massive. So you have a favorite casino. We got about 6 who are advertisers with us. So we're going to get them all in here, but you got to get out of the house tomorrow about 4 o'clock and get a seat in a casino, in a lounge, in a bar, and tell your significant other, either you can come with me, you can join me, or I'm getting a boys' night out. Bobby, I've done a podcast on that. If you're at this stage, I've been married 25 years. If you got to ask permission for your girlfriend or wife to go watch a hockey game, you're done. We cannot save you if you have to ask permission. Now, you got to pick up the kids from school and take them to practice. I understand it. But if you got to run it by the wife or the partner tomorrow, like, I want to get out with the boys and watch hockey, or the girls and watch hockey, whew, thank God it's you, not me. I got a big night lined up tomorrow night for this hockey game. I am ready to roll. So if you're a hockey fan in town here, as I always do this, and Bobby always walks me off the ledge, one of the ways I conduct my radio show is I like to put pressure on the audience. I do. I'm not one of these shows that does movie reviews for 2 hours and where's the best burger. And hey, I'm going to tell you about my hour this morning at Starbucks and what my Wi-Fi was like that. There are people who do that in this town. They just chat. They just get on the radio and chat. How are you doing? How's your apartment? Good. How's you? When are we going out together? Not here. We are fast. We are moving fast, and we try to get you. If I get you for 10 minutes during lunch or I get you 2 hours, I greatly appreciate it. If you're a hockey fan in Vegas, which I think we have a lot of them because we have the Golden Knights, give me a call today and tomorrow on the importance of this hockey game. I'm trying to fix the show right now in February. If you haven't noticed, I'm trying to fix the show. The show is too much nonsense about nothing going on in football and not enough sports. So I'm trying to rein in the show, mix in the hockey, the 4 nations, the NBA, and do all that. Because I like to do sports talk. I don't like to do backup Raider defensive backs in February. That's not my thing, even though I got a Las Vegas Raiders shirt on today, and I'm sitting in the Raiders flagship studio. I got a lot of Raiders for you. Vinnie Bonsignore at the bottom of the hour. So if you're going to go out and watch the game, let me know. Maybe I'll be there. If you're going to go out anywhere in town and you want to promote where you're going to go watch the game, let's have some fun and go watch some hockey on Thursday night. I got a bad feeling, Bobby. Canada got their ass kicked the other night in Montreal. We got a couple guys banged up. They're coming in heavy. Reportedly, the president of the United States is coming. Okay. All right, there's a lot happening here, man. And Bobby's from Boston, and you cannot get around that arena. They built that arena in a really weird spot where it is hard to get in there. People take the T, they take the train. Yep. And when you have the Beast and the motorcade going down there with the president at like 4 p.m, good luck getting around Boston. I think it could be a madhouse, and it's going to be great television. So I wanted to lead with that. And go to PTs. PTs, they fuel the monologue, 5 to 7, midnight to 2. What a great place to watch 4 Nations hockey at PTs. They got happy hour from 5 to 7, half-price drinks, food, the hockey game. Go to your favorite PTs, and I'm sure you're going to have a great time there. So as I'm showing everybody here on our YouTube channel, Vinnie Bonsignore wrote the cover story today at the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I had coffee today with my buddy Rambo and the great J.O.D., and there was a newspaper there. I get the newspaper to my house, but I picked it up, and Vinnie Bonsignore, who's going to join us in 20 minutes, the cover story, not nearly good enough. Whoa. Quarterback outlook, Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, and Desmond Ridder. And Vinny wrote, and he's not the editor of the paper, they wrote the title, Not Good Enough.
Yeah.
He's kind of right. It's not good enough. We got to get a quarterback here in Vegas. So as of today and yesterday, I believe Shador, Sanders, and Cam Ward are at UNLV at the Fertitta Fieldhouse, and they're working out. And I tweeted out the video at JT the Brick of Cam and Shador, who seem like best friends. These kids are fun. And they're talking trash to each other. And Cam Ward saying to Shador, you throw 15 screens a game. And then Shador's talking to him about, well, you didn't make it to a real bowl game. And they were jabbing back and forth at each other. And then Cam Ward looked at Shador in the video and said, what's this with the 6th pick? You're not going to make it to 6. And I said, oh, man, Cam's aware that he's going to probably go ahead of Shador. He's going to go either 1 or 2. And Shador might drop to the Raiders. So I'm not a gambling guy. But if you told me today, would Shador Sanders drop to 6 for the Raiders? I'd probably say no. Because I think that once he got past 3 or 4, somebody would want to trade up or get Shador if he's still on the board. Might be the Raiders. What happens if the Raiders got to trade up from number 6 to number 4 or 5 just to move up one spot and give up a first-round pick to get Shador if John Spytek wants to do that and Tom Brady feels comfortable with that? That's pretty interesting. But a lot of people, the mock drafts that I'm collecting, and I'm bookmarking them, has Shador Sanders dropping at 6. So as I talked to a friend of mine today over coffee, he said, what do you think of that? I said, what do you mean? If Shador's at 6, you have to take him because he could end up being Jaden Daniels. He could end up being great. He could end up being the next Aaron Rodgers. There's a chance. He's the son of Deion Sanders. You're not going to pass on him if he drops to 6. I would almost, as Barkley would say, guarantee. But I can't do that because people clip my show and they take headlines of what I say and they put it on websites. But I don't know of one Raider fan. I don't know of one Raider fan who thinks Shador Sanders is going to get past the Raiders at 6. I know a lot of Raider fans who say, I don't think he's going to be there at 6. We might have to go get him. But if he's there at 6, he's right down the block here at UNLV working out. Everything seems to be good for Shador. It was Antonio Pierce, our former coach, great guy. He's out. But there was a connection with Deion and Antonio Pierce. There seems to be a good connection with Tom Brady and Shador. Seems to be. Tom Brady's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame coming up. He's not inducted yet as the greatest quarterback of all time, maybe greatest player. And Deion is in there as arguably the greatest corner of all time. You know, Brady and Deion are talking at some level. I mean, they're both icons. So Vinny's cover story we'll talk about here in about 20 minutes, not nearly good enough. And as I said, I don't like to talk about things that I'm not positive now or have strong opinions on. I have no idea what Tom Brady, John Spytek, and Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly want to do. I have no idea. But it's pretty easy to guess. I mean, the Raiders need a quarterback. You got the greatest quarterback of all time going to help with the decision. They got a lot of money, second most in free money available. Did you see the cap go up today? Wow. The cap went through the roof today. The cap went up again. So there is no money issue at all for the Raiders to get a quarterback in free agency. None. There is no issue if you want to spend $60 million a year. No. $55 million. You want to spend $50 on Sam Darnold? The money's right there. There's going to be no complaint about getting the money. Now, if they think that Sam Darnold's a $40 million quarterback and they don't want to pay him $50, that's a different topic. But the money's available. And the Raiders have a high draft pick at 6. What I think is really compelling, too, is the people who think, go take Jackson Dart at 6 if Shador and Cam are gone. I'm okay with that. If they break down the film on Jackson Dart and they interview him and they see him at the combine and they fall in love with him, then go take him at 6. I don't care if he's the 18th pick or the 22nd. Take him at 6. Who cares? Who cares? Lamar Jackson was taken as the last pick in the first round. Go get the guy you like. So the quarterback conversation is open for business. So that means every day when I come on the air, you have the opportunity to call this show, the flagship of the Raider station, and say, JT, I want blank for quarterback. That business is now open. Normally, I don't open my window, and I don't say the door is open and flip the card around when I don't want to talk about a topic that I think is a waste of time. practice squad players getting elevated. Who do you want to take in the 5th round? I don't do any of that. But this is a big topic, and I need the business. We're in February going into March. I appreciate the business of you coming into my bagel store and buying 12 bagels, you coming into my Grimaldi's pizza party and buying 3 pies. The business that I am in right now, I'm in the Raider quarterback business for 2 hours a day, every day, with 18 partners on the show, which we're proud of. And all of my partners and everybody wants to talk Raider quarterback. So that's what I wanted to get in today. Whatever day you choose, you want to do it a couple days a week, I am open for business on the Raider quarterback. Now, the downside for me is I like all these guys. I like Cam Ward. I like Shador. I like Dart. I like Darnold. I love Rodgers. I was the Russell Wilson guy last year. I was the Russell Wilson guy at $1 million. And I love Baker Mayfield. I got that one right, too. But then they handed me Jimmy Garoppolo. And all the women in Summerlin started to swoon. All of a sudden, women were calling my show, and we put women first. If you're a lady and you call in, you go first. All the women were swooning over Jimmy Garoppolo, a handsome man. Really good quarterback most of his career. I mean, think about it. He won 4 playoff games, played in the Super Bowl. That didn't work out. Gardner Minshew, I have no problem telling you I was coming out of training camp, Gardner Minshew over Aiden O'Connell. I don't know how you can argue with me on that. What hindsight you're going to argue? At that time, you weren't, a couple people said Aiden O'Connell over Gardner Minshew. I was like, well, Gardner's played longer, and we just paid him to be the quarterback. Got to let him play. And Gardner Minshew was 2-2. He beat Baltimore in Baltimore, the greatest 12 minutes of the Raiders season last year. It was 2-2. Gardner Minshew deserved the job out of the gate because he had us at 2-2. We were okay at 2-2. Then we lost to the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, and the season fell apart. And then Aiden got a chance to play because Gardner got benched. And Aiden played okay, and then Aiden got injured and banged up. And then Minshew couldn't really play much anymore. He looked like he saw a ghost. And then we did a little Desmond Ridder. Not nearly good enough. The cover of the newspaper today, written by Vinnie Bonsignore at the bottom of the hour. So you better believe I'm open for business at the quarterback position. You better believe I need your opinion on this and your help. Along with all the mock drafts that I'm going to look at, and along with all the insiders that we're going to have on here over the next couple of weeks. Now, Louis Riddick is going to be a GM here pretty soon. He's still with ESPN. He's an analyst. And he was on ESPN kind of figuring out what quarterback would be good to go first, Cam Ward or Shador Sanders.
If you were in Tennessee or Cleveland, you're making the first pick?
Over Shador?
Right now, I have Cam number 1.
Wow. And if you were Tennessee that needs a quarterback, you would run
If
your
I was
team.
picking right now, and I
You're
talked to
gonna run
all
a
these
team
guys,
again.
and look,
You're
everybody,
gonna run a team again.
and everybody knows how much I love Deion Sanders, and that is my guy. And he has supported me from the time we were players to now.
You're going to take Ward first.
I would objectively take Cam
All right.
Ward first.
So would I. I take Cam Ward over Shador, but I don't know how much. I don't know by how much. I remember hosting radio shows when Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf were going 1-2. It was 51-49. There was a 90% of the people saying take Peyton Manning over Ryan Leaf. It was pretty split. And then Peyton came into the league as a rookie and had the worst rookie year for interceptions in the history of the NFL. And then Ryan Leaf flamed out, but he turned out to be a good guy, got his life in order. So I wouldn't trade up to get Cam Ward. Maybe John Spytek. Well, what happens if John Spytek is breaking down all this film with Brady and they go, look, we cannot afford not to get Cam Ward. We got to get him. We can move up from number 6 to number 2, and we got to give up our 6th round pick and 2 more first-round picks. That's the price. Everybody okay with this? It's not we trade a first-round pick to move up to get Cam Ward. You want to go get Cam Ward, you're going to have to give up 2 first-round picks and your number 6 pick. No one in their right mind is going to say, oh, just give me a 1 next year, Raiders. No. It's not going to happen. You got to give up a lot. And I don't know if this new GM, who seems like a really good guy, wants the same thing I said to Dave Ziegler. You know what Dave Ziegler did in his first ever draft? He gave up his 1st and 2nd round pick to get Devontae.
True.
I thought that was a good move at the time. We had Devontae. He's a great player. Well, Devontae might want to play for the Chargers. Ho, 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 ho. Ooh, oh. Devontae, I could walk to his house where I live in Summerlin and might want to, he's intrigued by the Chargers. Ooh. Don't you want to, oh, really? Intrigued? Well, Justin Herbert's a hell of a player. They got Ladd McConkey. They got a pretty good team. They got Jim Harbaugh. Maybe Devontae. I don't want to go down that Devontae road, but he might come back and I'd like the torch years from now. I don't want to go down that road with Devontae, man, but intrigued by the Chargers. That's interesting there. So the number is 702-365-9200. I guess I got to remind you that every day after the 20-minute monologue. Who do you want for quarterback is a topic that is open every day. I gave you Four Nations hockey. That's a big topic for me today if you're a hockey fan. And again, I didn't want to use the word shame you, but we are a fraud of a sports town if we can't talk hockey with the Golden Knights here. We're a joke. Let's go. I mean, we got a big hockey game on Thursday night. Where are you watching? Are you concerned like I am that maybe, Canada could have our number in this game? Ooh, I am nervous about this one, man. The first one, I was pretty cocky and confident, man. They booed our anthem. We threw down fisticuffs. We won the game easily. This one's going to be a tougher game than that. And then there is a lot of other NFL news around here. Hour number 2, I'm going to dive more into the NBA. The fallout from the All-Star game is kind of quieting down a bit, but Kurt Heelan is one of the best NBA insiders there, and Bobby booked him, so we have him coming up. We'll dive into the post-All-Star game and what that means as the Lakers play tonight. Luka and LeBron, this will be interesting for LeBron because he didn't play in the All-Star game, air quotes. Right. He couldn't go. Well, was he going to play in this game tonight if he couldn't play in the All-Star game? It's a game-time decision. If he wants to sit out one more game, I get it. He's LeBron James. But it's a pretty big ticket in L.A. Imagine buying tickets to see the Lakers in L.A. and LeBron doesn't play, and he can play. So I'm interested to see if he's going to be able to go here, and we'll dive into this. But mostly Shador and Cam in town working out at UNLV. I think most Raider fans probably want Sanders. Yeah, Bobby, you're right, because he's a bigger name. Sanders whoever becomes the Raider quarterback is going to sell a ton of jerseys. I mean, you go over to the Raider Image where my buddy Tom English is there. You go over there, man. Those Shador or Cam Ward jerseys would fall off the rack. They'd just be flying off the rack if the Raiders got a rookie quarterback. Could you imagine how many Dart jerseys would sell? Dart, if Jackson Dart went to the Raiders in the first round? I mean, how many jerseys would sell? You couldn't keep them in stock. Or how many Sam Darnold jerseys would go there to the Raiders? Whoever the quarterback's going to be, it's going to be vetted. But I just don't know who's going to be. And I like to know stuff. And I don't know anything about this. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be. We got about 6 guys to choose from. Cam, Shador, Dart, Sam Darnold, Russell Wilson, and maybe a trade for Stafford or Geno. Maybe 6 or 7. If I'm missing someone, let me know. 702-365 9200, Raider Nation Radio today. Vinnie Bonsignore joins us at the bottom of the hour with his cover story, Not Really Good Enough. And when we come back, we got a hint of a game today. The Chargers will open up the season in São Paulo, Brazil, as the home team. Don't we play the Chargers every year on the road opening week? I mean, how long have we been doing that? Someone help me in the chat. How many years in a row have we played the Chargers in week 1? Well, we don't know who they're going to play yet. They haven't released that. But they let us know the Chargers will open up the NFL season on Friday night as the home team in São Paulo, Brazil. They won't get 100 fans to go unless they pay for them. Unless the Spanos family pays, they won't get 100 fans to go there. Could you imagine if Raider Nation opens up globally in South America against the Chargers? I don't think a lot of Raider fans want that because Raider fans want to take over LA. Yeah. Last thing we want to do is lose a road home game in Los Angeles. And that's a home game for us, but we don't do very well in that building against the Chargers. That's kind of turning into our House of Horrors, SoFi Stadium. I mean, it's a good place to see a Taylor Swift concert if you're a Swiftie. But Raider Nation's been going back and forth to SoFi to try to beat the Chargers, and it is not an easy thing to do. So the schedule, the leaks will be coming at some point. That's a leak I'd like to know about. Who are the Chargers going to open up with to start the season? Because normally the Chargers open up playing an AFC West team at home. And that's going to be either Denver. Probably good to have Denver down there because Denver went to the playoffs, and they're not going to take Kansas City and put them on the road in Sao Paulo, Brazil. That's not going to happen. That's the monologue brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Have a Tito's on the rocks. Why don't you have a Tito's on Thursday night for Four Nations Hockey? We'll go over all the venues today where I've reached out to already, and they're going to have viewing parties for this hockey game, all of our venues that are proud partners of the show. All right, man, I'm excited to be here today. I hope you are. We've got a lot to talk about. Sports, a lot of chaos going on around the world, but we get a chance to talk sports every day. JT from Vegas, follow us on YouTube at JT the Brick YT. It's free.
Raider Nation, what's your name?
I'm so happy to see you in person. It's always great to come up.
Oh, everybody complains about the quarterback, but then you complain at me when you don't have a quarterback. Well, you can't have it both ways. Like Big D, you know that. Crush the like button.
Yeah, I'm here. What?
If you don't like these quarterbacks, you got to come up with one. You got to come up with one.
Don't miss Unnecessary Roughness.
Yeah, I know. That's
Season
the
2 on
promotion
Raider
side of
Nation
something.
Radio, 9:20 a.m.
Great cities are built
Trust me,
on
as soon as he
strong
gets back, he'll be back
foundations.
like tomorrow or the next day. You'll get a contact. He's already got three.
Yep.
Never stop
Grimaldi's, Bobby.
From the asphalt on our roads, the concrete
Anything
in our
else?
buildings, the solar fields powering the
Cool.
economy.
Have a good day, bro.
and
Take care.
everything in between to work
He's
smoothly.
waiting on his Grimaldi's gift card.
Local 872
All right.
is modernizing the Nevada
Sounds
workforce
awfully
and
disappointing.
building a global
It
city.
takes a couple days. It's not like, we don't just, that's not how it works. You gotta go through the system.
People love free shit,
Hey,
man.
Kenny, you're gonna have
People love free shit. I was never that free shit guy. I never was the guy. You know, I know lately it's been kind of arrogant, but I don't know, that's who I am on the air. But I'm not the guy at the game that raises my hand like a tool and wants a free T-shirt. I hope you're not either. Go to a game and watch when they shoot the T-shirts out of the cannon, and you see the 280-pound guy acting like a little girl going, shoot the T-shirt to me. Yeah, does that drive you crazy? I go to college basketball in March, and in between quarters, they're throwing T-shirts, and grown-ass men in their 50s are asking for a T-shirt, and there's a 14-year-old boy next to him, stranger, and they fight him for that T-shirt. People love free shit. You know, Bobby, I used to pay for my concert T-shirts back in the day.
All right.
They weren't free. When you went to a concert, man, you got to go into the mezzanine. You had to go in the second deck and
If you
buy
bought
them.
them in the parking lot, they're only like $5.
Yeah, they were $5 in the parking lot.
In my year, they were $5 in the parking lot. Dude.
Yeah.
Celebrating all week with 50% off regular menu price pizzas now through Sunday. What's up, y'all?
Snow Raider, the Raider image guy. Yeah, Tom. Tom's great.
RSVP to Meet Max and get the details at meetmax.eventbrite.com. Don't miss the Papa John's grand opening this Thursday. Visit meetmax.eventbrite.com.
Tom England. He might have slipped. He's a Chief fan, so from time to time I mix him up. I mix up my names. You got to get better at that.
Makes it quick and easy. In less time than this ad, you can fill out a few fields at lendingstore.com and find out if a lender can get you $500 or $5,000 as early as tomorrow. So visit lendingstore.com today for details. See website for details. Lending Store is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Open a Clark
Hey,
County
Vinnie,
Credit
it's Bobby.
Union
How
high
you doing,
yield
man?
bonus checking account
Good, all right.
and
Good
earn
job
one
with
of the
Jay.
highest
Keep me
rates
about 2
available
minutes,
just for using your checking account. Plus,
Vinnie's in.
bonus checking
Okay.
offers peace of mind, unrivaled security, and smart savings. There are so many benefits to banking at CCCU. Isn't it about time you became a member? Open a
Right,
bonus
there's gonna be
checking
spy check
account
coming
today and start earning more interest. Because if somebody's making money off your checking account, shouldn't it be you? Funds privately insured by American Share Insurance.
There's a new way to get to the game. M-Ride it. M-Ride is the luxury concierge shuttle service. It's the same bus the players use, so you can ride like a pro. M-Ride will take you round trip from Circa or the Palms to Allegiant Stadium or T-Mobile Arena. No more hassle parking, sitting in traffic, or waiting in long taxi or rideshare lines. M-Ride it, and you'll get in and out quickly. Reserve your ride at mridelb.com. Use promo code BRICK. That's mridelb.com, promo code BRICK.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for
877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
That's Cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
Yes. All right, I'm getting some tweets out. Let's apologize. Great to see you. Vinny's on deck.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by the Black Hole. Become a member of football's most notorious fans.
The culture is the players, and you'll see that, but we'll show them the way, and it all starts with competition. I mean, either competing or you're not, and I'm going to make sure that that's really clear to these guys from the moment they get here. You know, we're going to go out and draft a class, and there'll be a few free agents who maybe we'll be able to attract, and we'll need to see those guys, and we'll need to see what they're all about. But the competition part of it is theirs to command. If there's one thing that I want them to understand, and I'll start the message right now, if you want to be on a great team, you need to be a great teammate. And so teaching what that's all about and instilling that in the makeup of our program is going to be crucial. And the central theme in the program is always going to be competition, and that's where it starts.
Love that. Turn up the Bon Scott on his birthday. Wish he was still here. And shout out to Tom Lyde, my buddy who runs the Raider Image. I messed that one up. I thought it was my buddy Tom England who texted me. Tommy Lyde, one of the best Raider Nation employees and friends. He'll be at the Commitment to Excellence Award Saturday night in Henderson. Vinnie Bonsignore joins us every week. Wow, Vinny, I got the paper today. Big time headline, bold letters, not nearly good enough. When it comes to the Raiders quarterbacks, I would agree. What went into this column?
Yeah, we're just doing a positional breakdown on as the Raiders head to Indianapolis for the scouting combine. What the roster looked like last year, what it looks like presently, and what it might look like forward, or where they can turn, for some answers moving forward. But, when you crunch the numbers, it was not acceptable what the Raiders got at quarterback. They essentially got backup level quarterback play from Aiden O'Connell and from Gardner Minshew. That's not trying to throw anybody under the bus. The statistics reveal that, when you're talking about two quarterbacks whose quarterback rating was near the bottom of the league, in the 30s if you're talking about Pro Football Focus, in the low 20s when you're talking about quarterback ratings, and you're not going to win consistently in this league with that level of quarterback play. And it's no secret to anybody that the Raiders have to improve at that position. Part of that is also improving around that position. But there's no way, it doesn't appear, that they could just decide to run it back last year. They have to improve at that position. I think everybody understands that.
Yeah, we agree. And the decisions, when you look back, that Sam Darnold was available for cheap and Baker Mayfield at one point. I banged the table with you a lot on Russell Wilson just because of the price. I never would have thought of Russell Wilson at 35, 40 million, and he's probably worth that. But at 1 million in the division, I thought that was a big miss, period, and I'll stand by that. But now I look at the prices of Russell Wilson. They've gone up dramatically from $1 million. Sam Darnold, as you're doing your research here and talking to your insiders and people around the league, I just don't know where the number is with him. Is it 40? Is it 45? It's not 50, and Dak's getting 60, and Sam Darnold had a much better season than Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I think Sam's going to have to understand that there's going to be some question about, okay, how viable was what you did last year, or what's the chance that you're going to revert back to the years prior to that, Sam Darnold. And so he's going to have to understand that whoever does sign him is probably going to want to sign him to a 4-year deal. That's really a 2-year deal. That'll probably put $90 to $100 million in his pocket over the next 2 years, but give the signing team a chance to kind of regroup and say, hey, this isn't working, so we're going to move on after a couple of years. It protects, he's hard to believe that he would turn down that kind of money over the next 2 years with the opportunity to make much more if it all works out. But there's the possibility that it won't. So the team has some coverage as well. But that's what you're looking at. If you want to bring Sam Darnold in here, you're probably going to have to pay him over the next 2 years, $90 million. That's about $45 million, per season. And it doesn't mean that it'll count that much against your salary cap the first year. There's ways to manipulate that with a signing bonus and pay cash up front. But that's what you're going to be looking at if you want to bring a Sam Darnold in.
You and I were both in Minneapolis when J.J. McCarthy went down. We didn't even know he was injured in that game until after the case. And I just don't know how a Viking franchise that has never won a Super Bowl and was 14-3 and could have had the 1 seed, came down to one half of football, would get off of Sam Darnold. I mean, you can't do that. If you've won 4 or 5 Super Bowls or 2, like Philly now, I could say, okay, we'll reset. If the Vikings let him out the door, I don't care how good J.J. McCarthy is. They take Justin Jefferson, who felt like he could win the Super Bowl last season, and got to go tell the wide receiver, hey, man, it's going to take at least 2 or 3 years to get this kid up to speed.
Well, you're not thinking that it's going to take them 2 or 3 years. You're looking at a quarterback like Bo Nix. You're looking at a quarterback like Jaden Daniels. You're looking at a quarterback like Drake May, where there's no need for it. I mean, it would be a shock to me if he does work out that it's going to take that long for him to be able to hit the ground running, and that's not what the Vikings would believe. That's why they drafted him where they drafted him. So here's the thing: like, if you're the Vikings, how much are you going to tie into Josh or Sam Darnold, knowing that you've got J.J. McCarthy? How long are you going to block J.J. McCarthy? And if it's not a contract like we're suspecting that he's going to get outside the building, 4 years, $180 million, $90 million over the first 2 years, why would he ever sign that with the Vikings? So there's a two-way street there. There's what the Vikings may want to bring him back at, which probably is not what he's going to get on the open market. So if you're Sam Darnold, there's no way you sign the offer that's probably going to come from the Vikings if it hasn't already. So it's a tough deal. In retrospect, they should have probably, if they had just signed him to the same exact deal that the Raiders gave, the quarterback that they got, his name has escaped me right now, from the Indianapolis Colts, they would be in a pretty good position because then they can flip Sam Darnold or keep him next year. And I'm talking about Gardner Minshew, obviously. So it's a tough situation because what they're going to want to pay him is not what Sam Darnold is going to want to be hearing or what he could get on the open market.
Great conversation as always with Vinnie Bonsignore from our morning show, Vegas Nation, one of the best national insiders in all of football. So what is your research telling you about Justin Fields? It was very easy to say, no way with Luke Getsy. Luke Getsy got run out of Chicago. He wasn't going to go Justin Fields, period. Now Luke Getsy's gone and Chip Kelly's here. And the connection to Ohio State, even though Chip wasn't there at the time there, but Chip knows everybody. Is this someone we should be keeping an eye on in Pittsburgh? Because I don't think Pittsburgh can roll back with both Justin Fields and Russ.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Maybe as a secondary or third option, or a third or a fourth option. I think the Raiders would rather see what's going on, whether it's with Sam Darnold, whether it's with Aaron Rodgers. I just don't think that would be like their number one choice. Something other dominoes would have to fall before they went in that direction. I think they want somebody that's a little bit more established. And I know Sam has had his issues, over the first however many years, 6 years of his career, kind of turned the corner last year. But at least he showed the capability of being on a winning team, a team that can win 14 games. Obviously, it goes without saying what Aaron Rodgers could bring to the table. In his case, it would be injuries and longevity, and how long would you want him to be here? Whereas a Justin Fields, I don't know that he fits in the Raiders' plans.
Vinny, reports are obviously Shedeur and Cam Ward working out at UNLV out there, and they got some really good social media out there. What should we be looking at with all of that? Not just where they chose to train, what they're doing, and the opportunity that a lot of Raider fans seem to think Cam's the higher pick. But I know a lot of Raider fans that I talk to, and you got a big morning show, that they like Shedeur for the celebrity of it. I don't see Shedeur passing the Raiders at 6. I don't know if the Raiders can go up and get him, or he might go 3 or 4. I think 3 to the Giants makes sense for me for Shedeur if Cam is gone already there. But do you see any scenario where Shedeur could get to 6 and the Raiders are on the clock and they don't take him?
I don't, and you got to understand. Everyone needs to understand that Tom Brady is going to have a big say in this, if not the biggest say in this. And Shedeur Sanders, when you watch him play, when you look at the statistics, his style of play, his understanding of the position, the strength that he brings, and maybe some of the not so strong parts of his games, it's a Tom Brady type quarterback. It's a quarterback that you can easily see Tom Brady really liking for the reasons that he was successful, for the reasons that Aaron Rodgers was successful. Is he the best athlete? No. Does he have the biggest arm? No. Can he see the game better than any other quarterback in this draft? Absolutely. Go watch the tape and you'll see that. So he's a quarterback that I think Tom Brady is really enamored with, and that has been expressed not only in their working relationship. Remember, Tom Brady signed him to an NIL deal, but also the fact that he's poured time into him as a de facto kind of quarterback coach and somebody that's helped guide his early career. So it makes a lot of sense from Tom Brady's perspective why he likes Shedeur Sanders, and he's probably going to have the biggest voice in this matter. And so if he's there at number 6, I don't see any scenario where they pass on him unless we're just reading that situation incorrectly in terms of how Tom Brady feels about Shedeur.
Last one, Vinny, in all your years of covering the Lakers, I don't know how many All-Star games you attended, but that was a joke. They destroyed it. They made it a comedy show, more about entertainment, stopping the flow of the game, whatever format you're going to choose. So if you're going to go East versus West, international versus USA, whatever you do, once you start playing basketball, you don't stop the game. You stop the game at the end of each quarter and halftime, but you got to get a flow going here and stopping the game so Kevin Hart could make jokes or dress up Charles and Ernie. What a debacle that was. And I've been pretty aggressive on this topic because I think people like Adam Silver and massive advertisers, including TNT, they got suits all the way up the ladder, should be able to figure out how to put on a television show better than that. Where do you stand on that NBA All-Star game that just concluded in San Francisco?
Yeah, I definitely didn't like the format, and I really didn't like how they stopped the game for 20 minutes. That's doing a real disservice, to the players. They got to get back out there and play. And by the way, they have a full season to worry about, and you're really putting them in a precarious position to maybe get hurt. Having sit that long and then go back out there and play. I don't know if you're ever going to be able to solve, the NBA All-Star game. It feels like we nothing ever satisfies us anymore, and it has to be, wall to wall, competition and action and full effort. And the All-Star game, I'm sorry, has never been that ever. You go back and look at even the scores in the 1980s, you're still talking about 153 to 149, 148 to 135. That was before the advent of the three-point shot. Guys weren't playing defense in the 1980s. Yeah, you might have gotten a couple of minutes down the stretch of them where they dialed it in more than they had been, but it's never been a full-on competition. And I remember as a kid, even as a young adult watching it, and then we ran out to the playground to try to do the Kareem skyhook or the no-look pass by Magic Johnson or the Dipsy-Do by Dr. J or the finger roll by George Gervin. That's what we watched it for the entertainment. It was a showcase event. There's never been a championship type. And I know everyone's kind of trying to compare this to the NHL All-Star Weekend, but that wasn't an All-Star game. You had 4 countries deciding who the players were going to be, and it was a nation against nation competition. Eventually the NHL will go back to their All-Star game, which has been a boring All-Star game too, a bunch of scoring and not a whole lot of defense and not a whole lot of effort. I don't know how we're ever going to solve that other than let's just sit back and enjoy it. But I agree with you. I don't think you should do what they did from a television standpoint in terms of stopping the game for long periods or having Kevin Hart out there, calling the game. Put it out there. Let everyone, see everybody's skills. Long range shots, dunks, no look passes, all the fun stuff that we like about basketball, and just kind of leave it at that.
Thank you, Vinny. Let's thank your proud partners for your appearance today, please.
Absolutely. Lendingstore.com. If you're in need of $500 or $5,000 in your bank account as early as tomorrow, just go to lendingstore.com, have their experts help you find a lender that can get you that money into your bank account. And of course, Dos Gatos Tequila, if you want to shop for Dos Gatos here in Las Vegas, Smith's Grocery Stores, Lee's Liquor, and Total Wine, all 3 great establishments, have all the great products that Dos Gatos Tequila puts out.
Take care, Vinny. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, JT.
Vinnie Bonsignore, great to have him on every week. It is always a deep dive into the Raiders and going around the NFL. An interesting point that he just said there, really interesting point on the All-Star game, which is something I like to talk about. I like to talk about other sports and especially that NBA All-Star game. One of the websites, ML Football, which I follow because they're a cut and paste site, but they have some good information. Just in 1 hour ago, the Raiders are the favorites to sign quarterback Sam Darnold if he leaves Minnesota per Bovada official. And Bovada is the, sports book, Bovada. Sam was a Pro Bowler this season and had a 102.5 passer rating, throwing for 4,000 plus yards. Darnold has a strong connection to head coach Pete Carroll due to USC. Yeah, I would agree. I think that Pete probably has a great relationship with Sam Darnold, even though he didn't coach him. He coached Matt Leinart. You look at the players that he coached, but Pete is an icon still on campus and is a teacher there. He's a professor there. So Vinnie Bonsignore with Shador, he said the big part of that interview was when Vinnie said Shador doesn't get past the Raiders at 6. Right. He doesn't get past the Raiders at 6. I get a chance to MC a portion of the draft party every year. If you've been to the draft party, they've been big and they've been weird. Not from the Raiders' perspective. The Raiders put the event at Chaos inside the Palms. They put it in Omnia nightclub. And I'm sitting there mic'd up behind stage over these last couple of drafts. Cleve Farrell, Damon Arnett, JT, go up on stage. Go, go, go. I'm like, woo, okay. I love to go on stage. How about a draft pick this year? How cool would it be to be on stage at number 6 and Shador gets taken? You couldn't have enough confetti at the Raider draft party. You couldn't have enough confetti to shoot through the ceiling and have a good time with that. So we're talking quarterbacks today. 702-365-9200 is the number. Bobby, maybe we just do a podcast every day and not a call-in show. It'd be easier, wouldn't it? Yeah. They just do a podcast. It's the same thing. Isn't radio now called a podcast? And isn't that what it is now? It's just podcast, right? We'll do that. Raider quarterback is wide open. NBA topic with Kurt Heelan coming up next hour. That conversation with Vinny was brought to you by Modelo, the number 1 beer in America. I'm wearing the hat today. Modelo, bucket of Modelo's on Friday.
It's the morning.
Oh, Vinny was good. Vinny had a lot to say there.
Hey, Kenny, you're going to lead off. You're ready, all right? What is it you wanted to say?
We'll keep this going, Big D, to the top of the hour or so. And then I got a guest coming up. We're trying a new live stream tonight. I've been, Looney and I, for our podcast, are going to try something a little new tonight. So you might see it on your timeline. There's my son. He jumps in, says, "What's up, Chad?" There he is.
What's up, fam?
Yeah. Where you been? I don't know, Kenny. There are plenty of non-alcohol beer. I got a pretty good idea. If you no longer drink beer, nor do you want to, don't drink non-alcoholic beer unless, just drink water or drink a soda. You don't have to act like you're drinking a beer if you're not drinking a beer. No one's drinking a beer, non-alcoholic beer, because they like the taste of the non-alcoholic beer. But I think Corona's got a really good. And as Billy Bob Thornton said in Landman, just drink those Michelob Ultras. There's like this much alcohol in them. You can drink them all day long and not get a buzz.
Drink a bottle of Bailey's. Should Kelly coming back?
Sometimes at night when I do the show at night, I need a little coffee, pick me up. I'll throw a little Bailey's in there, Bobby, a little Bailey's. Not because I need alcohol, just I love the taste of it with a coffee. Do you do Kahlua or Bailey's? Bailey's.
Absolutely. Well, less alcohol, first of all. And plus, the creamy taste with the coffee is a lot better.
Yeah, it is. It's good.
Man, I'll put Bailey's on freaking breakfast cereal a few times.
Bobby's put Bailey's on breakfast cereal. I like that.
Yeah, it's good. It's yummy, actually. Okay, I got one call over.
I don't know if I'm the Raider host GOAT, but I know that it's impossible from this point on for anybody to do as much Raiders radio as I've done for 30 years. That means someone today would have to start and do 2 shows a day for 30 years. That ain't going to happen.
Until 2055.
Yeah, until 2055. So that's not going to happen. So, yes, I'm not the GOAT, but no one's logged more Raider hours on the radio than me. And you know what that'll get me? Maybe a beer. Maybe a beer and a T-shirt.
We're chatting with our guest, always safety first, 811 megaphone man.
Okay, it's going to be Chip Kelly coming back.
Chip Kelly coming back.
Homeowners, landscapers, and excavators. No, you should always call 811 before you dig.
It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. So you think the replacement of the death of Bon Scott for Brian Johnson was a great replacement? Great. Brian Johnson's turned out to be a legendary frontman for AC/DC.
It's apples and oranges.
It is not.
Bon Scott was a legend. Brian Johnson is a good singer, and he's got a good enough voice to carry off the AC/DC stuff, but he's no Bon Scott.
Yeah, I think Bon Scott clearly.
You saw the guy live. He just brought a fucking aura to
Yeah.
him that Brian Johnson just doesn't.
Yeah, I never saw Bon Scott live.
Yeah, I saw him at the Paradise back in '78. They were. There was something on a little tiny stage like that, 600 people. Oh my God!
In just 24 hours, as is no repairs. Every moment you wait is an opportunity lost. Don't be the one saying, I should have called the real estate guy sooner. So dial 702-310-6683 right now. Call 702-310-6683 or visit therealestateguyLV.com today. Don't just sell, win. eXp Realty, license number 38886. Call for details.
You wanna sell it fast and get the most cash? Talk to Aaron Taylor,
The real estate guy.
This is JT from Grimaldi's, New York style coal fired brick oven pizza that you crave. 4 locations here on the Grimaldi's. On the Strip at the Palazzo, Southwest Las Vegas on South Rainbow Boulevard and Green Valley on Southeastern Avenue.
Welcome back
Chip
to the
Kelly.
JT the Brick Show.
One call
Brought
holder.
to you by Comisario Tequila, the official tequila of the JT the Brick Show.
Yeah, I have just got here, so I'm getting a computer right now to look at film and start to analyze the personnel that's here. With our personnel department and with Pete and trying to put this thing together. The most important thing on the forefront for us, and one of the things that I think is really difficult for every coach when you start at a new job is staffing, and that's really what our focus and concentration is on right now. Putting together the best staff we possibly can for the Vegas Raiders, and we'll all get back in. We actually start next Tuesday. I kind of got a jump start of things and want to get here as quick as possible. But that's right now. We're talking about staffing, and we haven't had one discussion about personnel or kind of what direction or what that will look like as we move forward.
That was Chip Kelly from a couple of weeks ago. I think Chip comes in as a savant when it comes to play calling. I like play callers. That's why I liked Eric Bieniemy so much. And he still hasn't got a job as a head coach, but Eric Bieniemy has photocopies and binders of all the plays ever run for Patrick Mahomes. So if you hire that guy, he brings all that with him. He already has it in his house. Same with Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly's got every play ever run in the history of Chip Kelly that's worked. So just bring it to the Raiders. That's it. He's a head coach. He's a legend, a play caller. He just won a national championship. Remember my term. Say it with me. Run the plays that you run in Henderson. How many times have you heard me say that?
Hundreds.
Go out hundreds, right? Run the plays that you run in Henderson. And the ones that don't work, throw them out. And run the plays that Brock Bowers likes. Run the plays that I think Jacoby Myers likes. Why do we have Trey Tucker? Why do we have Michael Mayer if we're not getting them the ball? Why? I'd rather have an offensive lineman. I'd rather have a right tackle if we're not going to throw the ball to Michael Mayer. I love Big Mike. Love Big Mike. But if we're not going to throw him the ball, do we really want Michael Mayer to be there just to block? I mean, Michael Mayer's got to get some touches under Chip Kelly. Tucker has got to get the ball, the deep ball. He's not going to be Cliff Branch. He's not Cliff Branch. But Tucker could be James Jett. He could be someone that you can run the deep route with and connect with him every couple games. So Chip is probably breaking all that film down now and figuring out who he wants to keep. But what's Chip going to do until he gets a quarterback on Lanaid O'Connell? What's he going to be able to do? Kenny and KC. the enemies who lost the Super Bowl region. How are you, Kenny?
Oh, great. How you doing, JT?
Good, Kenny.
So the quarterback situation, I think my first choice is going to be Stafford, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he has more upside because he's doing it prime.
Well, you would give up a first-round pick for Matthew Stafford. The report today is that Matthew Stafford, you'd have to give up a first-round pick. That's a lot for an aging quarterback.
Yeah. I would try to see if we can try to give him a first round, but not in this draft, but maybe the next one or something like that. But Donald has a lot of upside also. I mean, obviously because coming in off, aging-wise. But as far as drafting quarterback, we still need to do that. If Sedur's at 6, we got to grab the team, let him get by. And if not, then I would want to go get Jackson Dart. That's the next quarterback I would want to draft after Sedur. It's not there. That's who I would go after.
Okay. Yeah, I got my opinion. Thanks for the call, Kenny, is similar to you. What's hard about this is that the free agent quarterbacks are available now. You're looking for the June 1st cut down, and say it's Aaron Rodgers. Say the market drops on Aaron Rodgers, and I'm hoping it does. If the market for Aaron Rodgers drops significantly, I love him because I know Aaron Rodgers is super elite and had a pretty good year last year, and he's got a chip on his shoulder. But for Aaron Rodgers, to me, it's about the price. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to get out of control with Chip Kelly, Pete Carroll, and Tom Brady in the building.
Hell no.
He's not going to get out of control with that. He'll be fine. Will he have to do McAfee still? I don't know. If he wants to, he can. Hope he does our show or Q's show or the morning show. But there's no need to get a free agent quarterback if you're going to get Shedeur, because Shedeur is going to play.
Right.
He's going to play, not in week 1 and 2. But there is a scenario probably out there where Shedeur gets drafted at 6. Aiden O'Connell is the starter through week 8, 9, or 10. And if Aiden's 7 and 2, you don't bench Aiden. But it probably won't happen. And then you go to Shedeur, and Shedeur's the franchise quarterback, and you never touch him again. He gets 2 to 3 years to figure it out. But you can't have Shedeur Sanders and Sam Darnold. It's one or the other. You got to pay Sam Darnold $90 million, Vinny said. You're not going to pay $90 million on Sam Darnold and then draft Shedeur. Not going to happen. So it's one or the other. If you get one of the top quarterbacks, that's why Jackson Dart's so intriguing to me. What I would like to do is take the best player available at 6 if Shedeur's gone. So let's assume Shedeur's gone at 3 or 4. Shedeur's out. Cam Ward's gone. Now we get to 6. We take the best player, period. Best offensive lineman, that won't hurt. Whoever you want. Running back, that's high. Running back at 6 is high for Ashton Genty. But let's say it's Ashton Genty, just for fun. Then you trade into the first round and get Dart. Then you move up with the Devontae 3rd-round pick that we got. You move up in the you take your 2nd-round pick and 2/3, and you get back into the first round, and you go get Jackson Dart. But I think Jackson Dart will be gone. Yeah. If you got to trade up to get him, you got to assume you're going to lose him. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun to try to figure out what's going to happen around here. That hour was brought to you by The Black Hole. The Black Hole does a lot with me with La Casa Cigars. I like giving them both the 2-for-1 because everything I do at La Casa Cigars normally involves the Black Hole. So if you're looking to have a cigar or any of the spirits and beers and cocktails that we feature here, you can go have it at La Casa Cigars with Mike and see many members of the Black Hole. Thanks to the bricklayers who joined us. Appreciate that. I'm going to chat with them for a bit, and then NBA is a big topic next hour. Thank you, everybody. Look for something later today. Yeah, I'll have that ready. Yep. Nice crew today. I don't mind having 100 people in here on the off season, man, as we continue to build it one bricklayer at a time. Make the best of your day.